Hey guys, it's Abdul. Just got done watching the U.S. Senate debate on Wish TV. Wife and I went to dinner this evening, so did not get to watch it until just a little bit late. And so I just finally got done watching the whole hour first. I thought I'd offer you some of my thoughts. I went ahead and made a few notes, so forgive me if I look at my iPad at the same time look back across at my computer. Fundamentally, nobody did anything that I was not expecting them to do. Mike Braun, kind of talked about the outsider. Luke Messer talked about how, we need to defeat, Joe Donnelly and, Todd Rokita. I'm the fighter. I'll go out there and I'll fight for Donald Trump. I mean, fundamentally on their positions, to be honest with you, on things, like Syria, like the Mueller investigation, they were all pretty much in the same ballpark and in the same universe, I thought. The places where there are a little bit of nuances on the issue of DACA, none of them thought, that DACA, kids who are eligible for DACA should be deported. They did say they don't think it should be passed unless it was either the wall or border security or giving the president what he wanted. So that, let's get, once again, a little bit of more of a nuance difference. Something I did think, though, a couple points I thought were really interesting. And this kind of ties into the theory. If you guys read my cheat sheet, my political gossip column, you knew I wrote a couple of weeks ago about some polling data that I had got privy to, and that polling data showed amongst Republican primary voters statewide that Mike Braun was in first place, Luke Messer was in second, and Todd Rokita was in third. And there were a couple of polls that showed one with Mike Braun with a big margin and one with a much smaller margin, but still both polls death order Braun, Messer, Rokita. And so I thought it was interesting that both Luke Messer and Todd Rokita, a couple times seemed to sort of jump and be a little bit more aggressive and assertive against Mike Braun. And by doing that, you don't go after the guy that's not a threat. And by them doing that I thought was interesting and kind of pulled to kind of sort of, reinforce that narrative that those folks have all seemed to have had access and seen pretty much the same polling that I have, and that the person to beat right now, please note this is right now, because all changed tomorrow, by tomorrow morning, that the person to beat in all this was Mike Braun. Now, something else I thought was interesting too, and I wrote about this in my Twitter feed. It is when the question of residency came up about Luke Messer, and one of the Channel 8 anchors had asked, do you live, where do you live, and et cetera, et cetera. So Luke gave the address in Greensburg, where he and his mom sort of owned the house together. And one thing he said he wanted to be be there with his dad. His kids go to school in Virginia, and he wanted to be, full-time, dad, because Luke is, grew up in a single-parent household. Something I thought was interesting was that I think with Todd Rokita, that hit a nerve, because one of the things that Todd Rokita does is Todd spends a week in Washington and then comes home on the weekends. And there's no offense to anybody, but this is what I do for a living. There's been the whisper, just kind of the scuttlebutt out there, about Rokita's parenting skills, because he has a special needs kid, and his other son and his wife Kathy, who is a sweetheart angel of a woman, is trying to raise these two kids while her husband is off, being a congressman. And that has been just part of a whisper campaign that's sort of kind of out there. And so when I thought Todd Rokita, said it was offensive to, anybody who's a truck driver, I really think at the end of the day, Todd Rokita was talking about himself, because all of us who are in the weeds on a lot of this stuff have known that narrative and that story has been kind of out there for a while, particularly with the attacks on Messer and in Virginia. So I thought that was a really interesting thing that I don't know necessarily if a lot of people outside of the political campaigns and maybe just a handful of us, in the insider reporter class caught on that. But that I thought, ladies and gentlemen, was really interesting as well. Like I said, did anybody really screw up tonight? No. Did anybody really hit out of the ballpark? Not necessarily. So I guess theoretically, if there had to be a winner, theoretically there was none. It was a tie, and I don't think the fundamentals of this race changed. So if the polling was still where it was with Messer, Braun, Rokita, I think kind of after today, it still is Messer, Braun, Rokita. Now, one thing I will add is you got maybe about a third of the Republican voters undecided right now. If they are, I'm not quite sure where they're going to go. I'll probably need a day or two to figure out to see exactly where they are going to go. I do not believe, though, and I will maintain this to my dying day, that there is much of a Trump voter in that undecided universe. I fully believe that the Trump voters have gone wherever the Trump voters were planning to go, and they are there, and they are set, and they are not going anywhere. I think the only people really left in that undecided universe, in my opinion, are those Lugar-esque Republicans. Those Republicans who, kind of out of that Dick Lugar type mold. And those are the same people, keep in mind, that helped get Joe Donnelly elected several years ago. So there you go. Oh, and by the way, a couple of things real quickly here. Don't forget, I'll be doing the debate with the Indiana Debate Commission on April 30th. The only two people who have committed to that debate. We won't have the full deck. It'll just be Luke Messer and Mike Braun. The Todd Rokita people, unless they're going to change their mind, by Tuesday, have said they're not going to do that debate because they don't want a debate done by the liberal media or a non-trustworthy conservative. So I'm not sure what category that puts my friends over at Channel 8 and Nexstar Television, but maybe you can tell them. All right, guys, that is all I got for tonight. I just wanted to touch base with you real quick. This is much easier than trying to write something for this evening. And so just remember to follow me at indypolitics.org. And while you're there, get yourself a subscription to the cheat sheet and also sign up to the Indy Politics Daily Email. You folks have yourselves a good Sunday evening. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.